Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a collaboration with my friend Becky from A Place to Nest. You guys ask for a lot more like homeschooling type content and things like that. She does a ton of that type of content over on her channel. So if you are looking for that kind of thing, you should definitely go check out her channel. She also has other just mom, woman related things on her channel. It's not just for homeschoolers, but you should definitely go check her out. She's very sweet, very real, very genuine, and I am really excited to collaborate with her on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about parenting mistakes that we made. For me, this really is just like, I want to share with you guys kind of going into parenting, you know, when I had my first child almost 11 years ago, some of the mistakes that I made and even up until now, up until recently, mistakes that I was making parenting, because I think that there's this notion, especially when you have a lot of flies, especially when you have a lot of kids, there's some kind of idea that you just must like know everything there is to know about parenting, and you must just be like a great parent. Like, oh, you must be such a wonderful mom, you've got 7 kids. And not that I think I'm a bad mom, but I definitely make mistakes for sure. And you know, just because you have a lot of kids, that doesn't like naturally make you a good mom. Though I must say, I do think most moms are really good moms, really great moms. We're just really hard on ourselves. But anyways, all right, so let's jump into it because I don't want this video to be super long. I kind of have 3 major things that stuck out in my mind when I sat down to really think through what I wanted to talk about in this video. The first one, the very first one, is the mistake of feeling like I had to take the parenting practices that I was raised under and use them for my children. My parents were wonderful parents. They were amazing parents. I'm not knocking them in any way. They were raised a certain way. They carried a lot of that into the way they parented my sisters and I. And some of those things, you know, I think even now they would tell you like, probably not like the best thing, not the best choice, whatever, because there's even a difference in the way that they parented my younger sister and then the way that they parented us. My younger sister's 13 years younger than us, and she was parented very differently than Ashley. If you guys know my sister Ashley, she has a channel. She was parented, Savannah, my younger sister, was parented very differently, raised differently than how Ashley and I were raised. So my parents had us in their early, like late teens, early 20s, and then had Savannah in their 30s. So they were different people then. And I think that there's some kind of ingrained in us pressure that or idea that, well, we were raised this way and we turned out okay, that means that you then have to carry those same parenting techniques and things on, you know, into your parenting journey in the way that you raise your kids. And that's just not true. It is okay. It's totally okay. It's more than okay. It's like, break free from the chains that is your childhood and the things that you were. If there's something that sticks out in your mind that like, you know what, I know my parents thought that this was going to be the end result from that type of parenting, but it really wasn't, don't do it. Don't do it to your kids. If your mom, and I'm not saying this about my mom, like there's someone in particular coming to mind, but if your mom was a complete control freak, and controlled everything about your life and it drove you crazy and she never let you think for yourself, and you're doing the same thing to your kids, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't have to follow in the same footsteps as your parents. And it doesn't mean that your parents are bad parents. Again, I say this a lot, but we do better when we know better. And there's probably many things that your parents would say now, like, yep, probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have done things a little differently, that kind of. So it's okay, like release yourself from that pressure. And for me, that was a big one. It was a huge one, saying like, it's okay, Angie, you don't have to raise your kids the same way. And for my husband as well. You know, I won't talk too much about his history and stuff because that's his story to share if he ever wants to share that with you guys. He had a great childhood, but he also had a very difficult childhood. Like, I don't want to paint a picture of anybody as being bad or anything like that. He had some very amazing people in his life as a child, but he also did not have an easy childhood. And so he has been very deliberate about trying to say like, okay, I'm not going to do things just because this is how things were done for me or whatever. So we kind of collectively come together and say, you know what, like that thing, that was kind of like scarring. Like, I have emotional scars from that. And we don't do that same thing to our kid. I'm sure we give them emotional scars in other ways, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, you do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have, and you absolutely don't have to carry the same things through, and that was a big, big lesson for me. Oh gosh, okay guys. This one is one I feel super passionate about. So let me just cough and get a sip of coffee before I like jump up on this soapbox. I feel really strongly about this one. I believed that when I had children, my life was over and everything I did was only about my children and my husband and my family. There's absolutely nothing wrong with moving them up the priority list. But my life, me, Angie, as a person, did not have to die in order to raise good kids, love my husband, take care of my family. Me, don't have to die for that to happen. And I think that I spent a lot of time believing that my life was over. I spent way too much time believing that my life was over because now I was married and I had kids and this was it. This was what I was, you know, fall on my sword, martyr, you know, nothing is ever about me anymore. Nothing is ever, I can't have anything that matters to me. I can't do things that are important to me. I can't have dreams. I can't have goals. I can't, because it was all about my kids and my husband. Y'all, that's crazy and it will make you crazy. That was a lie. It was a lie I sold myself. And so I have spent years recovering from that lie and learning that growing myself as a person is not a bad thing. It is not a selfish thing. That self-care, taking care of myself, I'm not talking about manicures and getting your hair done and stuff, but taking care of myself, who I am, my soul, that is of the utmost importance to my house. I know it's kind of like jokey when people say like happy wife, happy life, but I truly believe for whatever reason, mothers are the heartbeat of a household. And I don't mean like only stay-at-home moms, working moms, stay-at-home moms, whatever you are, we are the heartbeat of the house. We set the pace, we set the tone for pretty much everything that happens within our home. That's just what I have found to be truth. So when I am happy, when I am joyful, it like permeates and just seeps in to my kids, to my husband. And in order to be that, in order to feel that way, I have to take care of myself. I have to do the things that fulfill me. I have to be able to say like, okay, I need these things to fulfill me. I need these things you know, to fill my tank and make me feel good and want, and you know, and be able to pour out, have my cup runneth over, if you will, so that I can pour out on my husband and my kids. And being a martyr and you know, just, I don't know how to, you guys, I know if you're moms, you know what I'm saying, but this idea that we as women have to just like, our lives are just over now because everything is about our kids and our husbands. I think that that's a lie. And I think that that idea in and of itself is a breeding ground for depression, anxiety, postpartum depression, all of those things. The pressure that is put on women is unreal. So that is a lie I told myself, and one that I am so happy to be able to say that I am like completely turned around from. And I see so much value in me as a person being able to do the things that are important to me and that I value. I love my husband, I love my kids, but I have value just as me, stand alone, just as me, not as a mother, not as a wife, but just as Angie. Like there's value in me, and there's value in you too, just as you are, not as so-and-so's wife or as this kid's mother, or as this person's child. There's value in just you, just as you are. That is one huge lie I told myself, and something I'm very happy to be turned around from in order to cultivate myself, my person, my soul, my energy, the things that I put out into the world. I'm okay with taking time for me. I'm totally okay with that. The mom shaming stuff, the, you know, you're selfish for this, you're selfish for that. I've got like my deflectors up, like I don't care about what other people say because I know the truth about who I am and how I'm better for my husband and my kids when I take care of me. So I think that was a huge lie that I told myself for a really long time, you guys, a really long time. The third thing, the third parenting mistake. Oh Lord, y'all, this is one of the ones that is still very much ongoing for me, and that is control. The idea that not only do I need to control my children's behavior, but that I am ultimately responsible for every decision that they make. And that's just simply not true. It's simply not true. I cannot control them. They have free will. They are their own people. And it took me a really long time because I felt like every bad decision they made was like on me. It was all my fault. It was some parenting mistake that I made, something I didn't do right that made them make that bad decision. You are no more responsible for their greatest achievements than you are their biggest failures. I think that as a parent, it took me a really long time to learn that my kids are, again, their own individual people. They're going to make choices. Every day they're going to make choices, and they're not always going to make the right ones, especially as a kid. My job is to guide them and to say like, okay, here was the choices, you know, you kind of saw how this ended up, like not making such a great choice, and look what happened. And to be a soft place for them to land when they made the wrong choice and things fell apart or things didn't go, you know, right. My job is to be the soft place for them to land, the person that extends them grace. And that can be really, really hard because we live in a world that expects children, still expects children to be seen and not heard. And, you know, I don't know. It's just, I've just learned a lot about not controlling my children, not feeling like I need to control my children. That's not going to help them and guide them and give them good character. I am far more concerned about their character than I am about anything else. So helping them to see the after effects of their decisions. And sometimes that process takes longer. And so it just seems easier to like, well, dish out some kind of discipline or punishment or whatever, rather than walking through the steps of letting them see the outcome of the bad choice, of the bad action. So that's been a huge one for me, and one, like I said, that is still very much ongoing. I'm still very much learning how to help my children make good decisions without feeling like I need to control every decision that they make. So like I said, that one is still very much ongoing in my life. There are others, but I wanted to keep this video somewhat brief. So those are kind of the top three for me right now that, like, when I sit down and think about it, those are the three that really stick out in my mind, is parenting mistakes that I've made, and ones that I'm trying to still recover from. And that's the thing, is like every day is a new day. Just because you've done something one way for this long, right now, like you don't even need to wait for tomorrow, like right now, as soon as you click out of this video, you can change the way that you're doing things. There's literally nothing that stops you from changing at any point in any day at any time. It doesn't need to be January 1st. It doesn't need to be Monday. You can change the way you're doing things just like that. So for me, those were kind of the three big mistakes that I feel like I've had made for a long time, and again, still just working on and working through, because there's never an end point. There's never a, I'm perfect at this, so now I'm done. Especially when it comes to parenting. So those are kind of the big three for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found something helpful. I would love it if you would leave in the comments if you feel like there was a parenting mistake that you made, or maybe something that your parents, you know, that you feel like your parents did that you don't want to do moving forward with your children. I would love to hear about in the comments. Let's have a discussion. So thank you guys for spending your very precious time with me. It really does mean a lot to me that you would use your time to be here and watch this video. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so that you don't miss any videos. You can also turn on the little notification bell, and then you really won't miss any videos. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye.